It's time for a lovely winter walk, and off we go. Up the hill, and, well, which way shall we go? A fork in the road, and shall I go left or shall I go right? Let's go this way into the woods. More interesting. Definitely more interesting. And up the hill, yes, there's a lovely bench here. Nice place to sit and puff on my vest pocket pipe. And what have I got here? Aha! A hip flask from my dear friend Steve Coddington, SmokingCardboard. Gave me that a year ago. A lovely Wisconsin hip flask with a drop of bourbon in it. That fortifies you for the rest of the walk. So just a sip and off we go again. What beautiful view I have of the valley here, with these lovely rolling hills of the Jura, lovely smooth round hills, and off now into the forest. And yes, that is a bird box from the Ornithology Society. They must have put it up there. I think there are several of them. I'll keep an eye out for them. Now we go up the hill, and just to the right there you see a new path. That was really surprising, so wife and I decided to walk down that path and see where it goes. Must have been put there about, I don't know, a year ago, and we've done lots of other walks over that year, but not through the forests here, so this must have appeared in that time. You have to watch out. There are trees which are just about to fall down, and this one looks like with the next big storm it might come down. It looks almost ready to topple. So we just go around the bend here and listen to the birds and see if we can find any small furry animals or squirrels that are around, but it's a bit early for them to come out of their winter sleep, I think. It's interesting places. This is a sort of wider space in this path, and great place to actually have a grill party or something like that. And here I've come to the end of it. It didn't actually go on. I thought it would go to the castle, but it looks like they stopped building it. It probably is something that the foresters have set up for themselves when they're clearing wood, and not really for walkers like me. This is a really weird plant. It looks like cannabis, but it's not. And it's blooming already in February. Can you believe that? It's not a snowdrop or anything like that. So I don't know what that plant is. I have to look it up. And you find all kinds of new things. This set of beehives here, this is new. I've never seen this here before. Take a closer look. And it's 5 or 6, so there's quite a little honey production set up here. And somebody's put a warning sign here saying, be careful, there are bees here and you're being watched with a camera. So, better leave it alone, I think. It's nice to walk down the hill back to the village, and it really gives you, after that fresh air, quite an appetite. But of course, the bells are ringing for me. They must have started that to say it's time to come down now and have lunch. But before I do that, I'll just take another little sit here, and smoke a bit more. My beautiful tobacco here, which is the Boswell's Rum River, I think it is. Lovely tobacco. And at the same time, just take another little sip for fortification against the cold. Cheers, everyone. And on the way down, I saw this old cherry tree. It was very old, and we knew it was practically dead, but now it's really falling apart. So the last storm and snow must have caused this limb to break off. And this one has been trimmed, so it's still alive and producing lots of cherries. And over there you see more cherry trees, and when they bloom in springtime, it's just really beautiful and lovely. So I'm thinking, what does the little cafe in our village have for lunch today? As it turned out, it was chicken with chips and a salad. It was actually delicious. Really enjoyed it. Good afternoon. Well, that was a lovely walk. I do love a nice walk with my wife in the morning. I prefer it in winter time. When it's summer or spring, it can be afternoon or even evening. But it's always exhilarating, and it basically refreshes you. There's always interesting things that are going on in your village which you were not aware of. Well, of course, you saw I'm smoking here this Mr. Brog. Don't know if I showed the sock last time. Mr. Brog Briar Pocket Vest Pipe, as they call it. $9mm. You've seen the video about it, but very happy with this one. Smokes very well, draws very well. And in it, I'm smoking, and have been smoking on that walk, Boswell Rum River, which I probably got about a year ago, and tried it. I may have mentioned it in 1 or 2 videos, but then just taped it up and put it away. It's still very nice and moist. I think the flavour has actually enhanced a little bit over that year in the tin. This is basically a pure Cavendish So it's black Cavendish and brown Cavendish, that's it, and rum topping. And if you look in tobacco reviews, it's got about 6 reviews, and it scored about 2.8, which is almost a bit low for a Boswell blend. And the main complaint of some of those reviewers was you couldn't taste the rum. And when I first tried it out the tin about a year ago, I tended to agree with them. But I think it's actually riched up a little bit. That's odd, isn't it? But definitely I find it easier now to get that rummy note and the sweetness as well. So this may be one of those aromatics that actually helps it a little bit if you keep it a year or two in a jar or unopened. So now it's very pleasant, I think, and if I were reviewing it, might give it a 2.9 or a 3 or something like that, with that little bit of age on it. Drinking some iced tea, green tea, in fact, refreshment, but that's not the only thing I'm drinking. You may wonder, what was I drinking out there from that beautiful flask? This wonderful hip flask was gifted to me by good old Steve Coddington, Smoking Cardboard, more than a year ago, and I've used it a couple of 3 times. It's an excellent hip flask. It's says here it's from a company called Well Told, and it's very, very nice actually. I probably will have a little sip right now. How about that? Stainless steel, of course. Cheers, everyone. And that was, of course, bourbon from my living room decanter that I put in here. Got a little bit left. I only filled it about a third up, and I've had a sip of it too. So thank you, Steve. That's coming to very good use, and I do appreciate that you sent that to me, and it's my favourite hip flask at the moment. If anyone knows what that plant was that we found in the forest, let me know. I hope it's not a triffid or something like that. You never know. It just shocked me that that was actually blooming in February, and it's not a snowdrop, so we'll see if we find out what it is. Yeah, it's absolutely, I tell you, it's the most amazing thing that sometimes if you try a tobacco fresh, you get disappointed and you think, well, I don't pick up this or don't pick up that. You dry it up or just store it for a year, and suddenly it's there. I don't know if it's the tongue buds that change or the tobacco, but definitely there's that rummy note, and very much enjoying this actually. Right, well, before long I'll do another winter walk. We've got maybe, I don't know, 20 different walks around where we live, so it's very, very easy to find a new path that you haven't been on for a year or two, and it's I always enjoy it, especially when we go together, my wife and I. Anyway, you all take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you in a few days with something else.